Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of the series Unleashing the Alpha Within, the Alpha Male series. I'm so excited to be with you again for another fresh episode, episode 5. I want to believe you took out time to listen to the previous episode from episode 1 through to episode 4, and you learned the characteristics of who an alpha male is. That an alpha male is a man who doesn't just live his life, but he lives a life of legacy. Today, we're going to be talking about another character or another personality called the beta male. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. The word beta male. Who is a beta male? A beta male, or simply call it beta, is a term derived from the designation for beta animals in ethology. The term has been frequently used in the monosphere along the counterparts of an alpha male. The word beta is a term that has been used to describe men who are associated with feminism, or a man who's not assertive, particularly with women. The history of beta was used mostly in the animal ethology before the 1990s, particularly with regards to mating of female animals, their ability to hold their territory and hierarchy in terms of food consumption within the head of the flock. Using the term alpha or beta in reference to human originated in the mid-1990s. That means the word alpha or beta male was frequently used to ascribe a human character in the early 90s. Beta refers to a mammal who is subordinate to higher ranking due to fear, intimidation, self-doubt, mixed feeling, and identity crisis. Being a beta male has nothing to do with your physical strength or financial success or attitude with dating women. However, the external factor can be seen as an indicator of whether a man is an alpha or beta. In all the above mentioned, they are still insufficient to diagnose a man entirely as an alpha or a beta male. The defining characteristics of a beta male is not his external success, but the driving force behind these successes. I take that again. The defining characteristics of a beta male is not his external successes, but the driving force behind those successes. By definition, a beta male is one who lives his life based on the values and vision of other people. They seek validation at every turn, and because they lack self-reliance and strong sense of personal identity, they fall into a pattern of neediness and approval-seeking behaviors. Wow. The attitudinal lifestyle of a beta male. If your accomplishments in life are based on the quest of seeking validation or approval from people, then you are a beta male. If at any point in your life you have self-doubt or a feeling that you are not good enough as a man, and so you desperately seek to prove your worth through any means possible, you are a beta male. If you lack a sense of personal identity, where your life is void of personal values and boundaries, influenced by external locus of control, you are a beta male. We talked about external locus of control. in the other episode, external locus of control is the ability for the situation, the circumstances, the people surrounding you is governing your life and enhancing your decision. But as an alpha male, you must possess the internal locus of control, which means you are in charge of everything that is going on in your life. It is the identity crisis that make a normal man act like a woman. I don't have a problem with sexual orientation, but it is the lack or the loss of identity that makes a man begin to do the things that women do, just to seek approval from that side of their sexuality. Because as a man, he has a self-doubt. So he's in a desperate need for approval, validation of himself. I take the point again. If you lack a sense of personal identity, where your life is void of personal values and boundaries influenced by the external locus of control, you are a beta male. A beta male is a man's man who seems to have everything figured out. He has a thriving multiple six-figure career, a wonderful house, a physique that puts the world fittest man to shame, and stack of cash in his bank account. On the surface, he seems like an alpha male, right? Outwardly, he has all the indication of success, and most men would kill to spend a day in their shoes. But when you critically look beneath the surface, you will discover something interesting. What will you discover? You will discover that despite his external success, the man in question is not happy or fulfilled. Wow. That means all the facade he has around him is just doing those things, but deep down he is not fulfilled. He's not a happy man. Such man has lived his entire life seeking people's approval. His entire life has been built on seeking the approval from others. And every action he took was taken by an unhealthy desire to be liked and validated by those around him. What a wasted life. I like to digress a little to one of the stories I read in one of the social media handle about a journalist, a photographic journalist. He took a picture of a baby that is malnourished and a vulture sitting close to him, waiting for the child to die so that the vulture can feed on the dead body of that child because he's malnourished. The photojournalist took a picture of that child and the vulture. The moment he finished taking the picture, he left straight, he boarded his helicopter and he flew away. Months later or years later, he was awarded for the best photograph in history of his time. Now the man was so happy, he was celebrated worldwide to the point where he was called upon on a radio phone-in program, talk show. And a caller called and asked him a question. What happened after you took the picture of the malnourished child and the vulture? He smiled and said, after the picture, I boarded the helicopter and I left. The caller now said, I see two vultures in that story. One, the vulture who was waiting for the malnourished child to die. And second, you are the vulture because you did nothing to help that child. That sunk in so deep in this photojournalist's mind. He went home depressed. Months later, he took his own life. He committed suicide because he knew what the lady or what the caller said was true. He was a beta male. He lived a life without legacy. If it was an alpha male in the same situation, he would have captured the moment and still rescue the child and give the child a better life and create a legacy. That child would have been something today, telling the story of how he became who he is. But a beta male He's always ready and seeking approval and validation from others because he lives a life void of values and boundaries. A beta male is that unremarkable, careful man who avoids risk and confrontation. He lacks the physical presence. He lacks the charisma. He lacks the confidence of an alpha male. He is there like he is not even there. A beta male is that man who lacks the masculine energy and adopts feminine characteristics. Often faced with problems or confrontation, but passive about it. He does nothing about it. He's often confronted. He's always faced with problems, but he's always passive and he does nothing about the situation. A beta male is often taken advantage of because of the aura of the nice guy's persona he possesses. Take for instance, how can a man, I'm not saying it's bad, I am not saying being a female stylist is bad as a profession, but as a man. But the truth is, the tendencies of you taking real life challenges, you're running away or shying away from. So you have to look for a career path that is easy for you to just move along like you are there but you're never there. You are celebrated because ladies are flocking around you and telling you are the best of all stylists. Excuse me, sir. Must you be the stylist practically fixing the hair? Can't you be the brain behind it, where you are bringing in people to fulfill their dreams, bringing in ladies and training them on how to fulfill their dream of becoming a professional stylist? You mustn't participate in the act. It makes you appear feminine. I know this post or this podcast is going to offend a lot of people, but I tell you something. As a beta male, professions like that seems to suit you because you feel you are okay and you are having it just the way it is supposed to be done. I tell you, my brother, you are a beta male. You need to imbibe the characteristics of an alpha male who pick up tough challenges, who look at challenges as a stepping stone to him. Yes, he fails most time, but every time he fails, from his failure, he learns something new that propels him to take up a greater challenge the next time. Even in the animal kingdom, an alpha male is the dominant member of the community, commanding the defense. But a beta male is seen as the wingman. The beta male cannot call the shot. The beta male is seen as a collaborative and a consolidatory part of the plan. He's never seen as the forefronter. Because of our time, I'd like to put a pause to this. Stay tuned. We'll be right back as we pick up episode 5 in the next section. I am your host, Maxwell A. Peters. I look forward to host you again towards the next episode. Thank you.